It's time now for episode 313 of the 3 Point Podcast. We're presented, as always, by the Memorial Healthcare Wellness Center. Make sure you check out the great things they have at memorialhealthcare.org for all the great things, including all the exercise equipment, swimming pool, sauna. It's just a great place to be. I want to also thank our other great partners. They include AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori Shook and Associate Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, and Success Group Mortgage and Servicing. Well, let's play a little catch up, fellas. Anything going on in your lives?
I can take. Do you guys got anything?
I was gonna say we were texting before the show, and Jared threw something out about a ghost story or a ghost encounter.
Dude,
so I think that's what I want to hear about right now.
Me too.
Listen, I don't know how to say this. This was legit. Like I'm not kidding. I didn't sleep last night because of it. So my girlfriend Liz was not in town. She had a friend's going away party back in mid-Michigan area. So I was solo dolo home by myself. We had a night game for the Arizona Diamondbacks West Coast. So I got home after work, 12:30, 1 a.m. Started watching Challengers. I was like, well, you know what? I want to watch this movie. It was available for rent on Amazon, $20. I'm going to rent it. Review to come later on that. So I'm watching it. So I'm staying up, it's whatever, 2 a.m. Long movie. One little critique. Kind of dragged on a little bit near the end. But all of a sudden it's like 2:55 a.m. I kind of fall asleep on the couch. 3 o'clock on the dime strikes. And I hear a loud crash coming from but downstairs set up, you walk in, there's a washing room, and then you turn right, that's where your kitchen is, and then there's the couch. So I'm kind of all of a sudden in this back room, lights are out. I hear a loud and then crack. I wake up. I shit you not. I have a Ring camera outside of my house, and it went off. It sent me an alert. Somebody's here. The fear I felt in that moment was like, holy shit, there's somebody here. So I pull up quickly the Ring camera. You guys tell me what this is. I'm not joking. You tell me what this is, given the fact that I wake up at 3 a.m. This is 3 a.m. exactly. You can see it on the Ring camera. Just like a devil's time.
It is the devil's time. I was going to say that.
Can you see?
Let's see, kind of a blob.
You see this little globe, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a globe floating. You can't see it. I'm looking at it.
You can see it.
You can see it. You can see it.
What in God's green earth was that? So It kept going, then it ends up disappearing right in my grass. That happened right as I was awoken up at 3 a.m. I kid you, I sat there on the couch, I was paralyzed. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to look over my shoulder. I have big windows on my first floor, without the blinds closed, so people could literally be staring right in and I wouldn't know it.
Oh, boy.
I am petrified. I'm literally sitting there on my phone, what do I do? I don't know if it's a person still. Obviously, it's I don't know what this was. I'm guessing it's a ghost. Finally, I get up the courage to go upstairs. I slept with the light on last night. I could not sleep. Every time I heard something, I was whipping my head up and looking around. I don't know what more to really add to the story. It was a ghost. What else could that have possibly been?
It's kind of weird. It is.
Yeah, is it the first thing I thought of, because we've talked about it, but they're not up in Michigan, was a cicada, some big old huge bug, something like that. A huge bug
flying in front of the ring. Yeah.
Right. Maybe that's what it was, but why would it be, up at 3 a.m.? If it was some bird or something, I don't know. Was it just dust, or dirt flying around or something that pretty
back it up for a second too. You said there was some kind of loud crash or something?
Yeah, it woke me up. I was sleeping. I thought nothing of it, really. I was like, oh, that was kind of weird. Maybe my cat's running around making noise.
Right.
And then right as I was kind of coming to, all of a sudden the phone alert, ring, I check it. Kind of a oh shit moment. Think about whatever that was, set it off as movement. That's what you got to realize.
Yeah.
It's not this is just some random, I'm going to check the Ring camera. There's this little globe floating around on the screen on my house. No, it's literally motion activated. At 3 a.m. on the dot, a loud crash. I'm by myself. I don't know, just connecting some dots here. What a bizarre scenario.
Does yours have the history where you can scroll back and see when the sound happened to see if it was a bird or something and it just knocked a tree and knocked a tree over, knocked something over or whatever?
No, I don't know. I think I'm not very familiar with this Ring app. Honestly, it makes me a little uncomfortable that I have it. Like, if I'm being honest, so I haven't really dove into it. And I'll be honest, I wasn't exactly dying to find some answers last night. I was just let me go up to my room and like pull the covers over my head and pray for morning.
Like on Home Alone when Kevin McAllister runs upstairs.
Yeah,
pulls
exactly.
the blankets over his head.
Oh.
No, I've seen some people share videos on Twitter, social media of weird Ring camera videos look exactly like that. Some object moving off in the distance, and it seems like a lot of times people say it's almost like a glitch on the camera. Maybe that's just they don't want to admit that it's a ghost, or they don't want to admit that it's something, and they just say like, no, that's just the camera picking up a glare. A car drove by and it just picked up a weird glare, or something like that. But since yours, there was a sound first,
right,
and then like you said, the movement set off the camera. If it was just the glare from a car driving by, that wouldn't set off the camera. So like that, it clearly was something.
3 a.m.
Was it a ghost? Was it something supernatural? I don't know. But
do you guys believe in ghosts?
Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I want to go down this whole rabbit hole. We could be here for the whole show, but I was going to kind of say, I kind of do believe that there are spirit things out there.
Right.
I would tend to believe that more than aliens. That's where I stand on it.
It always, like you said, Teddy, we could table everything else we were going to talk about and do a whole podcast on this if we want. But I always think it's, what do you define as an alien? What do you define as a ghost? Because there's a lot of stuff that might be, some sort of spirit.
Here's how I would do it. I mean, the first thing that always comes into my mind when I hear a story like this, that what's the history of the house? I mean, did somebody get murdered there back in the day and that spirit is still around? I don't think you can get harmed by a spirit, but I tend to think that there are spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call them that are out there. That I don't think they've ever been proven to harm anybody. I mean, you hear about Amityville horror and stuff like that. When I talk about aliens, I mean beings from another planet. I'm not sold on that. I'm not saying it's impossible, it couldn't happen, but I'm not a big
believer. Aliens like been proven, like the documents were unveiled, like, and you're just still skeptical on it. Interesting.
I'm skeptical. I haven't seen anything definitive on it.
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Like, what do you define as an alien? Because most people, like, when you say alien, they picture like Marvin the Martian, some green guy with googly eyes going,
Exactly.
If it was just like a being from another planet, that could be what was flying around in Jared's front yard. It doesn't have to be some Martian alien. It could just be some living object that got over here from Mars or something.
Could be.
That's what I mean. You never know. There was that movie with I shouldn't have even brought this up. What's her name? What was that?
No, I just was throwing out the signs.
The one where the chick from The Office, Pam.
Alien movie?
Yeah, there was an alien movie where these aliens come in and these life forms are big old huge. It basically look like skyscrapers, and they end up developing a communication form with them.
Slither.
Yeah. And so those aliens, quote unquote aliens, are completely different than what most people picture as aliens, I guess. I don't know. That's like you said, the rabbit hole. You get down a rabbit hole and it's like, what are you talking about? Same with like the ghost thing, that a lot of houses probably have that kind of energy in it because of some stuff that happened. You see those people that come with all those instruments and stuff, and there's like, ooh, there's some energy over here in this corner. Oh, there's some energy going on upstairs or something. Is that a ghost? Is it just like something weird happened there? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I'll just say this with the whole ghost thing, put a butt on it. I get what you're saying. Like the house, something seems to be following me. This is like what, the third or fourth extra, not extraterrestrial, but
supernatural,
paranormal thing that happened. To the point, my aunt recommended wearing my saint necklace, and I did. It went away. But I recently took it off because my cat hair got all tangled in it, and now this happens again.
Is that the same aunt that her daughter had an exorcism at her house? Have you heard that?
One of our relatives. Heard that story. I've never heard that story. That's maybe a story for another time. It will be. But no, I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. The pure fear I felt, I've never felt anything like it with any other scenario like this before, and I've been in a few of them. So I don't know. Let's table it and let's maybe not anger the demons anymore than maybe we already have.
What's your protection? You got a golf club, a baseball bat?
There is no protection. That's
you gotta
why
have some.
You can't protect yourself from a ghost. That's why I didn't move off the couch. It's like, what do you even do?
Yeah, well, what if it wasn't a ghost? What if it was somebody breaking in your house?
Well, the ring camera would have alerted me that. I clearly, that was my first thought, and then I look at my phone and it was not people intruding. Just scary. Let's maybe change the topic.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, especially when you're home alone, or like if you don't know all the noises, if you're in a new place or a different place, you don't know all the creaks and the noises or whatever. That movie I was thinking of, by the way, it wasn't Pam Beesly from The Office. I always get Amy Adams and her mixed up. It was Arrival.
Yeah,
this movie with Jeremy Renner.
Ooh.
So see that big old thing right there.
Yeah.
That's the alien in that movie.
Whoa.
So that's what I mean. It's like, it doesn't have to be Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes with big old ears coming off his head or whatever. Like the alien could be anything. Speaking of that, this is now we're dragging on with this. You start ghost stories, you never know what's going to happen. Have you guys seen the video of like over in Portugal? There's like a meteor, like people have video of a meteor just like flying by, big old huge blue streak in the sky.
That was pretty
amazing. They're trying to figure out what the heck that was or whatever. So it's just like, you have no idea what's going on out there. Like people have videos when they're out in the middle of the ocean, weird stuff happening out there, and it's just like, I just try and stay in my lane, just live my life.
It's the best way.
Do what I can.
Well, good luck to you, Jared.
Yeah,
good luck.
I do notice anyone watching, if they're watching like on YouTube or if they're watching the video of this, Jared keeps looking over his shoulders a lot. I keep seeing him like.
I thought you were gonna say I look exhausted. Like, I'm not kidding. I didn't sleep last night. Like, that's not a joke. I worked today, did not sleep last night. Like 5 a.m. I'm hearing the birds chirping. Like,
oh man. All right, we'll keep this tight for you, young man. We'll take a break right now and come back with the prep spotlight right after this. All right, guys, I'll jump right into it. A few things. We probably got a couple more weeks of the prep spotlight, as I think the state championship in track is a couple weeks down the road. But the regionals just took place, and over at Nick and East Field in Corunna, Cavaliers didn't disappoint. Corunna won 15 out of the 17 events in the regionals. Winners included Tarek Bauer in the 100 and the long jump. Brother Wyatt ruled the 200. Cavs also won 3 of 4 relays. For the Owasso boys, Gavin McCumber won both hurdle races. And the Owasso girls finished third with first place showings from Gabby Huffnagel, who won the 100 and 300 hurdles. And Libby Summerlin won the pole vault, and Peyton Spicer took the gold in the high jump. At the regional in Bath, Chesapeake's Caleb Walker won the 110-meter hurdles. And Ovidelsi's Trice Tokar, our favorite, Jared, won the pole vault at 14'6". Tokar, two-time defending champion in the pole vault, so probably well on his way for a third appearance and third championship. In the girls regional at Vassar, New Lothrop took second place, winning 3 events. Josie Bauman won the pole vault. Caitlin Wendling, only a freshman, won the high jump, and the Hornets ruled the 4x100 relay. In baseball, Langsburg swept Perry in a doubleheader, but the Ramblers forced Game 1 to 10 innings before losing 9-8. In the 5-inning nightcap, the Pack won 10-4 to improve to 20-7 on the season. Emilio Garcia got the pitching W in Game 2 and had 3 hits. Any input from the family on Perry's baseball this week, Matt?
Yeah, they've had some weekend tournaments. Well, we mentioned the Fulton one that they won. They've been on a little bit of a slide. I think they're on like a 4 or 5 game losing streak right now. So
yeah, they're about 500 on the year.
Yeah, losing steam a little bit heading into districts, but hopefully, they've got a good senior class, a pretty good senior class. So hopefully they can gear up for districts here coming up soon.
There you go. In softball, the Langsburg Wolfpack softball squad improved to 25-1, winning their 10th and 11th straight, beating Perry 12-zip and 4-1. Addie Buchan was in the circle for both and now has 19 wins on the season. Chesapeake won their 8th straight, sweeping Mount Morris 17-zip and 18-zip. Breslin Struck got the Game 1 W and had 3 hits in that one. And finally, in tennis, Durant improved to 9-3-1 on the season with a 6-2 win over Corunna. Wynn Carpenter led the way, winning the number one singles 6-2-6 love over Haley Lake. Back to the Cavalier track team for a moment. Saw Jeff Sawyer, the head coach today, asked him what it looks like going into the state finals. And, he says it's always tough to know, but it looks pretty good. If they have their kids do what they're supposed to do, very well could be back to back.
I'm just going to address the elephant. Elephant in the room? Are you seeing this, Matt? It looks like Ted's about to get beamed up by an alien beam.
Oh, I was going to say
the light was too bright.
What are we talking about here? That whatever visited Jared has now made its way over to Lake Manitou.
He's jumpy.
Yeah, you would think that we've talked about it before. You'd think that they'd be the favorite. I mean, truly a fun stretch in Corunna athletics. Hopefully they can tie it off with the title.
Yep. Go Cavs. All right, guys, we'll be back. Little potpourri of sports coming up right after this. All right, I don't know where we want to start, but we are recording this on Sunday, so maybe jump right into the PGA. Jared, I don't know if you had a chance to see much of it, but an excellent tournament down in Louisville, and Xander Schauffele won it with a nice putt at the finish to hold off Bryson DeChambeau, who really had a nice charge today to get in contention. This is one of their better tournaments. I thought it was really exciting.
It really was. No complaints. Yeah, it would have been nice to see a playoff, but you win on the final hole with a birdie. Who's not happy with that?
Right.
Right.
What a great leaderboard. And what a lot of theatrics throughout the weekend. I mean, we're now 3 days away from Scheffler was in jail.
Right.
It's like, we start and end with that. Like, what the hell? We've never seen anything like that. But Valhalla, what a beautiful course. The clubhouse is majestic. That hole, I think it's the finishing hole with the water and the limestone green. Wow, it's freaking beautiful. But a great tournament. The players played well. A lot of people want kind of the carnage of a U.S. Open where it's winners 1 over. Who didn't love watching all those guys make birdies down the stretch? That was freaking awesome. I will say I did see it was like the average scoring of the field. I think it was like minus, or like the total cumulative was like minus 59 on the weekend. Like the next lowest of all time was like in the 1980s was like plus 59.
Right.
So like the scoring really was that low. I think it was like minus. Let me double check that.
Minus 216.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow.
I saw that too.
But what a great tournament. DeChambeau, he stole it for me. I mean, that is the only person who has maybe gone to live and truly has been 100% happy with their decision. Mm-hmm. He's got a great YouTube channel. He was hated when he left the PGA Tour. Now it's like he's everybody's favorite golfer. Just really, really love DeChambeau. Sad that he didn't end up getting a chance at the playoff, but Xander Schauffele, kind of the Rory, who never ever won a major before, finally breaks through. He's a slow player, which I'm not a big fan of, but how do you not respect him being nails basically from start to finish the whole tournament and getting it done? What a fun weekend it was.
It really was.
Yeah, it's fun. You're talking about the cumulative score. It's super low scores all around, not just on the leaderboard. I mean, all around. Basically, everyone was under par. But I saw some people saying that they want to take Valhalla off of the major rotation because of that. They said it almost makes so it goes either way. If you're like an old school maybe golf person, you want to see like a tougher course for a major. But at the same time, I'm kind of with Jared. I want to see these dudes driving the green on a par 4 or just lighten up the leaderboard. And so I don't know. I can see it either way. When it's super tough, like at the Open Championship overseas or some of those U.S. Open courses, that's kind of fun too. Yeah, when you see these guys kind of struggling to get around the course, but. So it can go both ways. It is a super, super cool course. And, that stuff that happened with Scheffler, just insane. Anyone, if you haven't heard about it by now, he a huge misunderstanding Friday morning and got taken to jail and then still made his tee time and shot a 66 that day. And then he just he was still, I think, top 8, but, he didn't stay up top of the leaderboard after that crazy jail experience. But overall, a really good major. It was enjoyable.
I saw somebody tweeted that it would have been really clutch if he came out there on Friday and golfed in the prison orange. That would have been awesome.
Like the Ricky Fowler bright orange,
That was like one of the, and that's what a lot of people were saying on Twitter. That was like one of those moments where you understand why, I guess, X is such a great app. The memes, the jokes, the breaking news, like just staying on top of what the hell's going on.
Absolutely.
Like, it was a really fun day in golf. it's a bummer. I think he finally kind of the adrenaline of that Friday. He played well on Friday, but just had a little bit of a crash on Saturday. Never really recovered from it. Our guy Rory, I mean, we kind of predicted it. We all were pulling for him.
Yeah.
Kind of same old story. Just can't quite get over that hump, man. I don't know if it'll ever come at this point. It's a little bit frustrating, but
it's crazy because last week, I mean, yeah, again, we talked about it enough already, but when he won at Quail Hollow, he was dialed in, and it was like they're going into the PGA, he would be the favorite. Like with the way he was playing, it's like, yeah, he'd be the favorite. So you just wonder, yeah, is he ever going to put 4 days together and win another major? I'm sure he's still pretty young, probably will at some point.
He's got a shot.
You know, when it's, you know, I was going to ask you guys, Ted, I know you don't dabble in gambling very much, maybe here and there.
Yeah.
I used to a little bit when I was up in Connecticut. Some people had like accounts with that MyBookie or, you know, some of those offshore sites. Now that it's legal, it's finally legal here in North Carolina too. You know, I've opened up accounts on like DraftKings and FanDuel just to kind of play around a little bit. This is the stuff that frustrates me so much with the gambling, because there's a reason why people, you know, you always hear there's a reason why Vegas is filthy rich and other people don't usually get rich off of gambling. Going into it, Scotty Scheffler, other than Rory, Scotty Scheffler playing the best in the world. I mean, if you put money on him to win or be top 5, that should have been a lock. No one knew he was going to get arrested. You know, like that whole, it's kind of, because that's what I did. I put money on him to be top 5, and then him and Schauffele to be top 5. Because I was like, man, both those guys are playing so well right now. I feel like that's a lock. And I was only going to win like $80 or like $90 or whatever. So nothing huge. But it was like, you know, I was talking to people at work and they're like, oh man, I didn't put money on Scheffler. You know, I didn't think he was going to do it this weekend. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was number 1 in the world, playing out of his mind.
Red hot.
There's no way you could have predicted what was going to happen this weekend, you know, and he still almost made it to the top 5. But that's just the stuff that's just like this gambling, you know.
Impossible. It's impossible. In other words, my guy. I mean, speaking of which, my guy John Rahm,
he fell apart.
Which way he was going to go? Yeah, he blew up. Did not have a good first day. Kind of rectified it a little bit on Friday, but missed the cup. I don't know what's going on with him.
I've heard people say it
was bad.
Yeah, I'd be curious your opinion. I mean, both of you, but I heard people talking about him and DJ Dustin Johnson. You know, some of the LIV guys, because their tournaments are only 54 holes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've talked about like they're almost losing the stamina to play a full PGA tournament. And, you know, you almost wonder if there's something to that, because not many of the LIV guys have been able to play over there, play their tour, you know, whatever they call it, and then come back over on the PGA and win a bunch of tournaments. And I don't know if it is the competition level's not there. Maybe they're not practicing as hard because they're just getting paid boatloads of money to play, or they're only playing 54-hole tournaments. You know, there might be something to it.
Think about how on the PGA Tour, you have to play well to make money. The motivation. Like, there's honestly not really what motivation does Dustin Johnson have to go grind? I mean, he's got a beautiful wife at home. He's already won majors. What he's accomplished. He's going to be a Hall of Fame golfer. If there is a Hall of Fame in golf, I don't know. So it's like, you just got to wonder about motivation.
Right.
And I'm with you. It's like, it blows my mind. You watch these tournaments, they are waiting for like 20. That's what really is impressive to me. I lose focus on a golf round if I have to wait on like one tee box for 10 minutes. Like, I'm already out of rhythm. My back's tightened up. It's like I'm done. These guys in between every hole are waiting 20, 25 minutes. Like, it's crazy the mental endurance they really have. And You're right. They probably don't deal with that on LIV very much. So I wonder how much that might affect them as well. But then guys like DeChambeau, who we talked about, like, he's wearing his, Crushers, I think is the team on LIV that he's the captain of. He's rocking the hat. Seems happier than ever. It's like, it just seems it's unfortunate. It seems like it's really not necessarily ruined, but definitely throwing a wrench in some guys' careers who made that jump essentially only for the money.
Right.
So
very true.
Yeah.
Well, it was another great event, and you talked about Quail Hollow. The CBS really bragged up Quail Hollow for next year. You know,
they did. I mean, they were hyping it up. Maybe because it was just the tournament was there last week, so maybe it's fresh in people's minds. But yeah, PGA is going to be there next year, and I don't know. I don't remember if I mentioned it last week, but I'm definitely going to be trying to get some free tickets again through work, because
heck yeah,
right down the road, right around the corner. Basically, I'm going to try and get out there for the PGA.
We didn't talk about it in the little pre thing that we do to talk about topics, but the NFL came out with their schedule. Lions now have their schedule, and a lot of people are saying it's a 13-win Lion season looking in front of us. I don't know. That's pretty optimistic, I think, when you just look at the schedule. I think it's a pretty tough schedule. My first glance at it.
It looks pretty tough. I mean, they've 5 primetime games, not counting Thanksgiving, so 5 primetime, and then the Thanksgiving game. So you have to think the NFL, they saw last year when the Lions are good, they rate. Everyone wants to watch the Lions, whether you're fans or Lions are always underdogs, so people are going to watch them. So they're going to be on national TV a lot. Like I think we talked about either after the season, after the NFC title game, or shortly after. Anyway, they're not going to sneak up on anyone anymore, though. That's the thing. They're good. Everyone knows they're good. So now it's like, okay, they're not this darling, everyone wants the Lions to win. Everyone's rooting for the Lions. So now they're going to get everyone's best shot. So, everyone's gotten paid. Jared Goff has had his press conference and said, no, he's as driven as ever because of last year. He wants to get to the Super Bowl now, but everyone, once you get that paycheck, you never know what's going to go on. So I think Dan Campbell will have these guys ready to go, but I'm kind of with you. I saw a lot of people saying, 12, 13 easy wins for the Lions. Right. I don't know. The division's going to be better. Everyone in the North is improved. I mean, the Vikings, maybe we'll see, but.
Yeah. And they got to stay healthy. We've talked about that time and time again, a lot of things you can't predict.
Do you guys like the Lions playing at 1:00, or are you guys in favor of kind of the later start times, 4:25 prime time? I mean, looking at the schedule, they only have 5 games at 1:00 this year.
5 1:00s, okay.
Yeah, I think a 6th would be Thanksgiving at 12:30. But I personally love that. Give me the 1:00 window. Give me that red zone, and then when it's just those 3 standalone games. When the NFL, that's really when the Sunday scaries hit at that 4:25 mark. When there's like, man, there's really not that much football on. Usually not that great of games, but the Lions, I think they have like 4:25 starts. Like, I can't wait for those games. I love that time slot.
I could go either way. I like the 1:00 because I'm thinking about my family days on Sundays. Watch the Lions from 1 to 4. Lions are done. We can go out for a walk or go do a couple things, keep up, I'll check the scores or whatever's going on. But so then I can enjoy the rest of my Sunday, of course, as long as the Lions win and, enjoy the rest of my Sunday. But that's why I like the 1:00. The 4:00 or the prime time it is cool to watch the Lions in those slots. I did see, I think we might have even retweeted it. They play indoors. I think it's the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
They don't see an outdoor stadium until like week 9 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah, I think,
which is huge for Jared Goff.
I was going to ask you a question about that, Matt. I mean, and I agree with your point. He is definitely better inside than outside, but aren't all quarterbacks?
Probably. It'd be interesting to do a dive on if there's anyone who's actually better outside. Maybe, I don't know, but
I'd be surprised to hear it.
I would assume most quarterbacks are better indoors. But it is just like it's glaring looking at Goff's numbers indoors, outdoors. I'm not ragging on him. I'm a fan. I'm glad the Lions locked him up. I'm also glad that they're playing a lot of indoor games.
Yeah, I just want to I wasn't really poking back at it, but when I just thought, well, I think most quarterbacks are probably better.
Yeah, but also like it affects some quarterbacks not nearly as much. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, I don't think playing indoors, outdoors really affects him. I mean, somebody like Lamar Jackson maybe doesn't quite rely as much on throwing the ball. It's like probably it benefits him to play in a snowstorm against the Lions. So I get what you're saying. But no, what's your guys' number one game that you're maybe circling? I mean, for me, how do you not circle December 30th, 8:15 p.m., New Year's Eve the next day against on the road against the 49ers? That's going to be an all-time one right there. Great little rematch. It'd be nice to spank them. But I love playing the Buffalo Bills. Seems like we've been playing the Bills a few times, like once a year the last few years. I love that matchup. December 15th, 4:25 at home versus the Bills. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Those are my two. What do you guys got?
Those are two good ones. I got one just for selfish purposes. The on the road against the Colts, because I think I'm going to go to that game. Yeah, you can't hardly get tickets in Detroit. The season tickets are sold out. The single game tickets are just ridiculously priced. But I actually have a sales rep that I work with in Indy. And Lions are going to be down there, so I'm going to go watch them down there. So that's
catch a game at Lucas Oil. Yeah, that's a good reason. Go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's an away game. Sometimes it's cool to go to an away game and check out a different stadium in Indianapolis. Cool city. So
easy drive.
Easy drive. Yeah, that's a good one to go to. I like that they put the Bears on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just
nice.
when it's a random team from the AFC or something, it just feels weird. I just give them the Packers, give them the Bears, even the Vikings. Give them those teams on Thanksgiving. Make it a classic matchup. That's pretty cool. The whole, we don't need to get into it. They're opening with the Rams, and there's all this like, do we give Stafford like a tribute? Do we, what do we do for Stafford and stuff like that? And you guys know my feelings on Stafford. He's one of my favorite Lions players ever. We're moved on. We're done. He came back in the playoffs. There was the booing, there was the cheering. Whatever. If they want to do a video tribute for him, cool. But you don't need to make such a big deal about this now. Like, it's been years. He won a Super Bowl over there. Let's all move on. All right.
Yeah. That's why I'm not like that excited for that match. I'm already annoyed of what people are going to be. We're going to be talking about that for like a month leading up to that game. What they're going to do. There'll be like some press release. Oh, they're going to have a welcome back video. It's like that storyline has already came and went, and I'm worried about that game. Like the Matthew Stafford, especially. Don't be surprised if he throws for 4 touchdowns. And we had the nice little Kansas City win last year, first game of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that first game. Yeah. I just think that's a tough matchup. They're going to be pissed, looking for revenge. And ironically, Matt, your other game, Thanksgiving, I'm worried about that one. Mm-hmm. I already see the vision in my mind. Caleb Williams has a decent rookie year, but national stage, really his first national game, I believe, is that Thanksgiving game. He's going to ball out, end up eating I can see it now, the turkey breast live on TV. I'm worried about that one as well. Yeah.
Well, and just, I don't know what it is. Ted, you remember in the 90s, even like through those 90s when the teams weren't very good or just middle of the road, they usually played great on Thanksgiving. I don't know what it is. I could look it up real quick. We haven't won a Thanksgiving game in like 5 years or something.
Well, don't I know it since I was there last year.
Right.
That was all time. It really was.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking maybe we might do it again this year and just buy standing room tickets and go check it out.
Idea.
It's not a bad way to go. By the way, I forgot to tell you.
Hold on.
What?
We were just talking last week how we got to keep the family traditions alive, and you're already kicking out Thanksgiving. Wow.
Maybe we can tailgate.
Oh, wow.
Ted's changing it. Ted's changing the tradition.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? We're going to get together every damn holiday just because you want
Thanksgiving's a big one.
That is a big one.
One of the 2 holidays I think you named off last week as your reasoning.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I haven't bought tickets yet, so maybe it'll be back in play. I forgot to tell you guys, though, I did get a hotel for the Super Bowl weekend. So I'm all set for New Orleans if they make it. I might cancel if they don't make it, but
I mean, like we said, it's the same as Vegas. Either way, hopefully it's for the Lions, but either way, it could be a trip to New Orleans. So that's not a bad plan.
No,
I hate to say it, you got to pull the trigger on a Super Bowl. We're already talking about this, but if they do make it and you already have everything lined up, I mean, pull the trigger on a ticket, man. I mean, what are we doing?
Oof. I don't know, man. You're cutting into my kid's inheritance there.
Ted's going to have to lock in a few more partners for the podcast to get some more money for a Super Bowl ticket.
What do they go for now? I mean, what is like $9,000
for 2 tickets? You're probably like $10,000.
That's what I thought.
So, hey, I don't know. I mean,
especially in New Orleans,
a lot. You've traveled. You're a very well traveled man. That's like kind of the last infinity stone of your sports journey. I don't know how you don't pull the trigger on it, honestly.
We'll see.
You're going to regret it in 15, 20 years.
15, 20 years, I'll probably be in the grave. So what the heck?
That's what I mean, yeah. Well,
okay.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Flying around, setting off Jared's ring camera.
Hey, I'll just be happy if the Lions ever make it and can somehow win the Super Bowl, man.
Right.
That'd be a dream come true.
Yeah.
All right. We anything else? I know the NBA playoffs are going on right now. We got a game 7 right now with the Nuggets and T-Wolves as we're recording on Sunday. The Knicks were all banged up. They lost earlier today. We got a Celtics-Pacers conference final. That's actually not a bad little matchup there, really. I like that Pacers team.
Pacers they remind you of like the 04 Pistons, like Halliburton is their star. But otherwise, it's a bunch of kind of blue collar and flying under the radar type of players. They play well, whereas the Celtics are just kind of a bunch of superstars.
Right?
They're really good, but that should be a good series. Yeah, as we're recording, it's halftime of the Nuggets T-Wolves, and the Nuggets are up. I'll be curious. They should finish it off. It's in Denver. That should be a good series too. I was hoping that the Mavs would win. I did not want to see the Thunder move on because I want Mavs Nuggets. Just sounds like a super fun. I'll be watching every minute of those games because watching Luka and Kyrie's fun to watch, and obviously Joker and the Nuggets. But that's it. As long as the Nuggets can finish this one off, that'll be a good series.
What a wild finish Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wild.
There's some magic to this Mavs team. There really is. They're probably the team I'm rooting for to win it. Yeah. I'm hearing story like Kyrie basically come full circle is like, I don't know if he ever was a bad teammate, just maybe let off the court stuff get in the way of culture inside the locker room and all that sort of, and friendships and that sort of thing. From what I'm hearing is, am I remembering this right? After the game, they had that super emotional win. They go to the Western Conference Finals. He addresses the team in the locker room afterward, impromptu speech. I'm loving everything about that story. Him and Luka, everyone wanted to basically paint Kyrie as like this, basically this cancer to that team. They need to move on from him. And it's like all the reports you hear coming out of that team and that locker room is, we love this guy. Like, he's our guy. And so it's just been really cool to see Luka and Kyrie just be an ultimate tandem. I mean, like we saw in the past with Kyrie and LeBron. So I can't wait to see what they do next round. A lot of people are going to write them off, and whoever wins the game today is going to be basically shoo into the NBA Finals. But I wouldn't be shocked if they pull an upset next round.
Right.
Yeah. I saw people saying, they're already, if they're penciling in the Nuggets, they're like, who on the Mavs is going to call or guard Jokic, Joker? Right. I was like, no one can guard him. Like, it doesn't matter. The T-Wolves have the defensive player of the year, and he can't even guard him. So, he's going to get whatever he wants to get. But the Mavs have Luka, and like Kyrie kind of steps back. Let's Luka do his thing. And when he needs to step up, like he did Saturday night, like you said, Ted, Kyrie stepped up with a bunch of big shots. I really hope the Mavs can pull that one out. I'd love to see them in the finals.
Yeah, I want to see them and the Nuggets. That'll be a nice matchup in the conference for sure.
Yep.
Moving on real quick, like in baseball, Tigers lost a tough one again today to the Diamondbacks. Had a chance for a sweep, a couple bright spots. Torkelson had another home run, and Baez actually had a solid weekend hitting the ball. Maybe he's waking up a little bit. Maybe we'll see something happen because they definitely have the pitching. It's just, again, that hitting woes continues.
I mean, I've seen graphics put up. We've talked about Skubal, we've talked about Olsen and some other guys, but people are putting this pitching, the starting five, up against like those staffs from back in like 2013 with like Verlander, Scherzer, Price, and Porcello and all those guys. As far as their numbers, this staff is putting up numbers that they should be winning the division. It's just that the offense is that bad, and it seems like whenever they do score runs, that's like the one outing that the pitchers get beat up a little bit. It's like they can never like put it together both at the same time.
Yeah, like they scored 13 runs when Skubal's on the mound. It's like maybe we didn't need those 13 runs on the mound. But I mean, Flaherty has been incredible this whole year. Had his like career high strikeouts a couple starts ago, 15, I believe, against his former team, the Cardinals. Reese Olson, without the wins, but his stats are right up there with Tarek Skubal. It's like he might be up there in the Cy Young conversation by the end of the season if he keeps doing what he's doing. But hey, let's just focus on the positive. We won a series. We needed it. Baez woke up. I mean, what, 3-hit game, a 4-hit game, and then today made a couple nice plays as well. Just let's hope that this is a good omen for the rest of the year. Big series coming up starting tomorrow against the Royals. So interdivision, got to win that one.
It will be interesting to see if they're come June or start approaching the trade deadline. If there's still like somewhat of a hope for them to make a push, even for the wild card, what kind of moves they might make, because with the pitchers that you just listed and we've talked about, there's contending teams that would give you a lot of pieces for some of those starting pitchers. So are they going to try and move some guys and try and win now? Are they just going to roll with what they have and hope everything works out? Yeah, I'll be curious to see what they do at the deadline this year.
I hope they keep their core pitchers. I really do.
Yep.
Maybe some of the relievers.
I heard the rumor of Skubal on the trade block. That sounds crazy, man.
Right.
Sounds very crazy. I don't understand. I don't get the thinking behind that at all.
Yeah. They're insane if they consider that. I mean, I'm still pissed when they let Scherzer go,
Right. I mean, you have pitchers like that you can truly build around. You have to keep them. I mean, what if you're saying that you're going to try and contend? How are you going to trade Tarek Skubal? You know,
And I can't stand the thoughts like, oh well, we got great pitching. Like let's trade it for a couple bats.
Stupid.
Yeah, you got great pitching. Don't F with it. Like let's
right.
hope, pray the bats will come around next year. Come the offseason, okay. Now let's make some deals. Let's make something happen. But I would do my best to hold on to all those arms, like you said, Ted.
Yeah, and the other thing is in baseball, it's a little easier to convince free agents to come play for the Detroit Tigers as compared to, let's say, the Detroit Pistons. Who wants to be in Detroit in wintertime? You know, all that goes along with that. Detroit is a solid baseball town.
Oh,
well, and especially they have the money to spend too. So yeah, like you said, baseball, you can spend the money and come play for the Tigers. You can convince some guys to come do that.
Amen. That's what they did, 2005, 2006, when they got Pudge. He signed on and just steamrolled from there.
Yeah, Pudge, you brought in Maglio, and then you got like Carlos Guillen was one that was a big signing, and some other guys. So, yeah, you can do it.
All right. Well, fellas, that kind of takes care of the sports. Let's finish this podcast with a little bit of Tedertainment Tonight right after this. All right, let me start it off. Baby reindeer. You had me fascinated with that, Matt. I thought, well, I'm going to check this out. Before I discuss what I've seen and my thoughts, Jared, have you seen it?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I'm kind of curious. I guess I'll start with you. Your thought process on it, because to me, looking from what I've seen, I've watched 4 episodes, and I heard your comments about Poor Things, and this movie or this series to me doesn't seem it's your bag. Did you like it?
It's well done. I mean, here's the thing, dude. As soon as I flipped on, we don't need to rattle on Poor Things any more than I already have. The second I flipped that on and I felt the Tim Burton-esque bullshit that it was, I was immediately off. This is like vibrant. It's really well done. It's quick watch. It's not parading around as this magical award winner. That's why I liked it a lot better than Poor Things.
Well, let's throw out the Poor Things then. Okay, I'm with you there. The content of this, and I'm not being negative, because I'm going to watch the whole thing, and it's fascinating. Right. It did take a kind of a bizarre turn for me when they got the episode without the stalker, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe they regroup after that, because that episode alone, I thought, well, Jared's out on this. You got to be kidding me.
Not like, believe me, I couldn't watch any more after that episode. It's hard to watch, but also it's like Poor Things is like, it's why do I keep bringing up Poor Things?
Yeah, throw Poor Things out of there. Get it out of here.
That movie sucks. We don't need to rehash it.
I know your opinion.
I got to watch Unfrosted. I forgot that was my homework this week. Review of Unfrosted coming next week. But yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's based on a true story. It's realistic. I feel like they didn't it wasn't like gore how they showed it. You know, you saw kind of what happened. You didn't need to sit on the scene for 2-3 minutes. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what I appreciated about the show.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I'm in on it, Matt. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely worth the watch. I just was curious what Jared's thoughts were.
Yeah. No, I would say that's fair. And we don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there is some, it's not super graphic, but there's some stuff that would definitely can make you uncomfortable when you're watching it. But that's the thing, like being based on a true story, it makes you kind of not like understand necessarily, but it kind of makes you feel for the main character. Like, geez, not only do you have the stalker and what you're dealing with there, but man, you've got what happened to you when you were trying to come up in the comedy business or whatever. So, it kind of makes you, I can't think of the right word that I'm thinking of right now, but it makes you kind of feel for the main character a little bit. That's kind of what I thought too.
Because the main character really is the comedian. He's the guy that really was stalked, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's his story. It's based on his story. He wrote it and stuff. So he's such a cool actor. I'd never seen him before or heard of him before, but I thought he was great. And then the female that plays the stalker, I mean, geez, she plays that role fantastic.
Yeah.
I saw the real stalker in an interview with Piers Morgan. She looks exactly like her, talks exactly like her.
That's crazy.
It was amazing.
So
it's kind of like what Jared said. Sorry to cut you off, Jared. The kind of uncomfortable scenes or whatever. That's kind of what I thought too. They don't hang on them very long. you don't see too much, you
No,
know,
you
it's,
don't.
you know, so they get the point across of, you know, what this guy had to deal with. And then it kind of moves on, you know. Yeah, it is a little bit like, ooh, geez, but you know,
Yeah, they do it with like it's very smart how they do it.
Yes.
right.
It's
I'll
it's
give
tough.
you
Like
that.
even it's still hard to watch, and I felt like they did as good
Sympathize.
as they could. Yeah,
That
it's
word just it makes you sympathize with him is
right.
what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I had one other thing. You know, I'm probably the only one of us that watches network television sitcoms. I have a couple on my list that I watch, and Young Sheldon just wrapped
Oh,
up its
oh.
series, and of course that was the prequel to The Big Bang Theory. But I thought, you know, for a half-hour sitcom on television, it was well done. They did a good wrap up. I mean, they had a big family event they had to deal with in the third from last episode, and the last two episodes wrapped up the show very well. So I enjoyed Young Sheldon now that it's done,
It's
but very well done.
You were big on Big Bang Theory too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, I went to California with my daughters and my wife, and we had a chance to see Big Bang Theory or Two and a Half Men, actually see the live taping.
Oh,
And Big
cool.
Bang Theory, it was their very first year, so I didn't really know much about it. So we went to Two and a Half Men. But yeah, I was a big fan of the Big Bang Theory. It was a good show.
2.5 Men, man. That's a nostalgia. That I never understood why that show was so popular, but it had quite the run. Yeah, Young Sheldon's a solid show. I'm with you. I maybe
Yeah.
watched like 2 episodes, but for whatever reason, this stupid
What?
reel on Facebook, I don't even know what the scene is. I think it's Sheldon's dad.
Yeah.
Sheldon, I think it's his brother, is like has a girl over, and the girl's dad shows up and tries to like get the girl to come with him or something. But like somebody edited it up with like music to make it like a highlight video of this dad. So I don't know what this dad is all about, but I'm all about him. He's a classic character. What's his
Yes, he
name?
is. The dad on the show?
Yeah.
Oh, you put me
Oh
on the
no.
I don't know right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Sheldon's dad.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
Sheldon's
you don't
dad.
have to spoil it for anyone or whatever, but I saw some people tweeting about it. Was it like a controversial ending or something?
Uh,
like-
no. Well, controversial, I guess, for in the sitcom world, it might have been.
Oh, okay.
There was a family event that happened, and then they wrapped it up with the last two episodes. So instead of spoiling it, I won't really say, but I didn't think it was overly controversial. It kind of fit the show.
Did
Yeah.
old Sheldon come back?
I will say that he did. Yes,
Oh,
him
okay.
and his wife were a part of the last two episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that, and they named their kid Leonard. They had two kids, Leonard
nice.
and Penny. So that was kind of cool.
That's cool.
And just a little tip for you: Netflix now has Young Sheldon, and I just popped on the first two episodes the other night to see how it started and then how it ended. Very well done. The first couple episodes were really good.
When you give the premise of what that show is, it has no right being as good of a show as it is. On paper, it's the spinoff of Big Bang Theory. It's some young Sheldon kid, but it really is like pretty well done. I'm with you on it.
They pulled it off. Yeah. That's all I got, other than I know we didn't talk about the Tom Brady roast, but pleasantly surprised. It was a legit roast, man. It was brutal. I mean, they went after everybody.
Yeah, and
I don't know what
he's come back a little bit, and I don't know if he used the words of regret, but he said he almost regrets doing it now because his kids, you know, saw all the jokes and stuff, and so it's kind of, you know, he's gotten ripped a little bit for saying that he regrets doing it, because it's like, what did you think you were getting into?
Exactly.
And you know, especially with the comedians that were lined up, and I think Netflix paid him like $25 million or something.
See, that was the part I didn't understand. So he got paid $25 million. It wasn't for charity or anything. It was for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's people are like, what are you mad about? I mean,
No
I guess,
kidding.
all right, some kind of bad jokes or whatever, but no, it was for a roast. It was very good.
Yeah.
Where I'm at with Tom Brady, and I love Tom Brady, and I thought he was funny at the roast himself. It was stupid. Like I said, it's like, dude, you probably saw all the jokes. You somehow were naive enough to be shocked by your family being like, yeah, this kind of was brutal on us. But to me, he needs to be like more mysterious, kind of how he was his whole career. The more and more he steps out in the limelight, like, whether it goes right or wrong, it's like I almost don't want it to see it. It's like keep it buttoned up. Like, let's just see you in the booth. like the more and more you're kind of this like God type figure. Like, let's just keep it that way. I don't know. I think he's getting a little more overexposed in the last 5 years of his life than I'd like personally.
That's fair.
Fair, yeah. Well, we're going to see what he can do in the broadcast booth now that he's taken the $10 million paycheck and Olsen's getting 3.
Even as much as Greg Olsen was fantastic in the booth, but Tom Brady's the number 1 guy. So
yeah.
We'll see. We might see him that first game for the Lions when it's Lions Rams. That might be him.
I hope so. That'd be great.
I'll be honest. That is like the number 1 storyline I think going into this NFL season is how he going to be in the booth. Mm-hmm. From what I hear, he's been at the Fox Studios. I think Colin Cowherd's been saying how he's been there like every day, like prepping and getting ready and doing these dry runs and all that. So I'll be curious to see what it's like. First game he does, I'll be tuning in for 100%.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. How about you guys? You got anything for the Tedertainment?
Yeah. I just got one real quick. Like I said, I just watched it last night. Challengers, the Zendaya movie.
Yep.
It's a good flick. It's like I kind of when it ended, I was like, I don't really know what I was supposed to take from this movie, but I was entertained for 2 hours. It's a lot longer than I thought it would be. I don't know what the official runtime was, but it felt like it was like 2 hours, 10 minutes. I actually fell asleep during it. Ended up watching it after the whole ghost encounter, so maybe that affected my rating a little bit. But Zendaya's great. The 2 actors, I thought they were incredible. The tennis scenes, I've never seen tennis shot so well. They nailed it. The director, the music, the soundtrack. I think Zendaya was like a producer on it. The soundtrack had a lot of like 90s, like I don't even know what you'd call like Tecmo type music, like arcade music almost, that I thought really helped like spice up the dialogue a little bit. I thought it was a good flick. Not going to write home, not going to win Oscars, but you're entertained for 2 hours, man. And people are saying like it's a sexy movie. Yeah, like I think girls are be like, wow, like this is incredible. I was watching like I never have viewed Zendaya like that way. She almost kind of reminds me of Taylor Swift, like where it's like you are beautiful, you are gorgeous, but like for whatever reason I don't view you like kind of that way. But this movie is like, wow, she's definitely beautiful. So definitely recommend it.
I saw some people kind of saying that after Euphoria, she kind of took the next step with this movie to kind of become that kind of actress or whatever. I definitely want to watch it. I don't know if I'll do the rental thing. You said you paid for the rental. We paid for the Iron Claw. So, I mean, it's not that I'm against doing it. I just Challengers, it might be one that I wait for, but I definitely want to watch it because she's very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Iron Claw, though, you can watch it for free now, Ted. So no excuses now.
What's it on? Do you know?
I think it's on Max.
Max, okay. I'll check it out. I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've just been. We still want to watch Unfrosted. I'm going to get to it. These NBA playoffs and stuff are taking up my time.
And you got on your schedule to come to Michigan for the Tooncast sometime? You still coming up here? Don't know yet.
Need to, yeah. Nothing scheduled right now.
All right.
But definitely need to because those Tooncasts are fun. And I know, man, you probably already been out there. Is it a nice weekend up there?
Oh, I was out there today around 11 o'clock for a couple hours. Yep. Beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. And Jared, it keeps starting, baby. I don't want to jinx it, but it keeps starting up.
That's good, man. You know what I've been thinking? You need to really renovate that thing into one of those tiki bars with the floating barges. You could do it.
Oh,
maybe that's a summer job for you and Charlie when you guys got some time.
There you go. It's a perfect setup for it. Maybe I'll do that.
Float around Lake Manitou with a tiki bar.
Dude, those are sweet. You got one in Tampa Bay. Those are like it's not that hard to build. You could do it.
Right.
Something to think about.
There's your little side hustle in retirement.
Yep.
People can pay you, a couple $100 to you drive them around Lake Manitou, serve up some drinks on the tiki pontoon.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3-point podcast production. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's call it a podcast. Always good to get together. Again, we want to thank the great folks at Memorial Healthcare's Wellness Center. Talk to a rep or go online, see what kind of discounts are available for memberships, all kinds of classes they offer. Get healthy, get in shape. Details at memorialhealthcare.org. We also want to thank our other partners, which include AZee Branding Solutions, Jacobs Insurance Agency, Kori and Associates Real Estate Services, Nelson House Funeral Homes, Rivals Taphouse and Grille, and Success Group Mortgage and Servicing. Peace and love, everybody. Be kind. Thanks for listening.